Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Conquer, the competition series by IIFT. Today we have with ourselves the national runner of GSK E3, Aayush, Keshav and Anuradha. Welcome guys, how are you?
Hi,
You're good.
hi,
How are
hi.
you?
You're doing good. Great, actually.
Nice to hear that. So tell me about the competition, how it was structured.
So actually, this competition is definitely different and special than other competitions because there were six national finalists, and out of these six national finalists, there were 5 campus rounds and 1 wildcard round. So there are few predefined campuses where all of them, for sure, one of them, one from the campus would be the national finalist, and the remaining the competition is open for 15 colleges. So among the remaining 10 colleges, only one would be the campus, the wildcard winner, and who would be the national finalist as well. So that's why this competition is really special, and we are proud, and we ourselves call us the best of the best because we almost fought with 10 colleges, and then we are the wildcard winner, and then we got the entry into the national finalist, and finally the national runner.
How long was the process, the whole journey?
So I think the competition was like rolled out, I think sometime in October, I remember around mid-October. And we had our first submission after a month. I think we worked for around 2 weeks for the first draft, for the first round of the competition. That was a 5-slider presentation that we made. So we worked for around 2 weeks for that. After 7 days, there was the result for the semifinals, which was the wild card round semifinals. And so that after 7 days, we had the result for that. And immediately, I mean, the winner of that round was going to go to the finals. So between that semi-final and the final, there was the mentorship round where, each team got a representative from GSK who helped us to, make our solution better. So we worked for another 10, 12 days together. And after that, there was the final.
So what all things you keep in mind while making a presentation? Right? Keep it a 5-slider, or sometime we have to make a 1-slider. So what are the things that you look for?
So first of all, we'll check whether, so in the case study, they'll give some questionnaire, right? These are the deliverables we have to answer. So we'll check whether each part of the question is well answered or not. And also how the solution we are providing, is that feasible or not? Is that are we presenting in a unique way or not? That's what we are looking, and we also looked into that.
I think, and eventually when you look back at the entire solution, I think it should look like a story. I think that was something that we made sure that, even though it's a 5-slider, even though the questions would be, unique in itself, but when a layman who doesn't know the questions, when he is going through that presentation, he should be able to connect the dots nicely. I mean, you should start from, a starting point, and eventually what you reach, there should be a nice connect and a nice storyline that should be there. So I think that is a very important thing. If it's relevant and it connects well, it really does make a good impression. So regardless of the questions that are given in the presentation, if you need to add fillers inside to, in order to help it connect better, I think that is something that you should go forward with.
I guess story is the key then. Tell me about the jury, what they were looking for in your answer, or in general in a competition answer, what the jury was looking for.
A jury, particularly in GSK, they were pretty awesome. We have around 6 to 7. We have MD, CFO, VP, and some business heads. They are very much excited as we are. Even during the mentorship sessions, we have allotted with one mentor from the GSK, and he was very interested in our case, and he helped us a lot, as you already mentioned. And the sessions are very productive. So he used to spend so much time to answer each and every doubt we have. So during every round, the jury was very eager about our solutions, how differently we are putting them in the presentations, or how differently we are answering each part of the question during after the presentations, and the amount of research we have done. I think the research is very important, particularly in GSK, because it's all about the pharma. It's really it is actually different what we think and what actually happens on the ground. The research is very important, if I say, which we for the pharma, we cannot just browse the net and collect the data and just keep in the presentations. Or that's not actually Aayush and Kesava, they have a lot of contacts. We collected a lot of info what's actually happening on the ground, because the pharma industry, it's the way it works, it's different from the FMCG. For example, if we say in presentations, if we are suggesting any marketing campaigns or the sales structures, they are totally different. They have to be, for example, for the marketing campaigns, if we design any marketing campaign, we cannot target our market directly with our product. They should be like bringing some awareness in the consumers, and then indirectly relating our product to the consumers. That's actually, that is the way how it works. So to be precise, the jury was awesome, and our answers has to be unique, innovative, and the feasible.
Very.
I think I'll just put it in 3 important terms here. It should be clear. Number 1, I mean, it should be clear. Our solution should be clear. There should be primary research. I mean, it just should not be anecdotal research. I think something that jury pointed out repeatedly when they're comparing 2 teams, then they say that this team did primary research and the other team did secondary research. So they really appreciate primary research as much as possible. And the third thing is the feasibility of the entire thing. So just make sure that, whenever thinking of the solution, understand that the company wants that solution for themselves, right? I mean, they have that solution in real world right now. So they're looking for ideas there. So, if your solution is feasible and unique, I think these are the 3 things. So clarity, feasibility, and primary research. I think they're the 3 things that the jury is looking for.
Okay. Very, very interesting insight. I guess the primary research primary research part is very important, rather than just looking at secondary and getting from it. And
actually, it was the toughest. I mean, if you come to pharma, like we into super specialty, so you cannot get the kind of doctor they were looking for. So if you want an oncologist, she might be working in a government hospital who will not use any of the pharma products or the super GSK or such kind of similar products, and those primary research would not be helpful for us. So finding them has been the biggest problem.
Yeah.
And how have you been able to?
I think the pharma competitions are pretty different from the usual B school competitions we have. Sorry. Did I interrupt you?
It's
I think I'm a bit. Yeah.
I was asking about how you've been able to find those person. Like you said that the normal government doctor won't be using that kind of stuff. So how you've been able to find those?
Actually, there was actually a lot of drama that has happened. So initially we had our initial solution. So we spoke to doctors, and Aayush is also from the pharma background, and both of us interned at GSK CH. So we spoke to a couple of all the people we know, but most of them are general doctors. I mean, none of them are super specialties. They were from MBBS. So we went ahead and we gave our first solution. So they were happy with the solution, and more importantly, they were happy with the thought process rather than the solution. So when we are preparing for the final, after the mentorship round, we have completely changed our more interesting part is we have completely changed the solution completely. And we have changed the specialty as well. So here, when we are talking to them, we took 4 specialties. What we tried was that we spoke to doctors who were available for us, and then tried to eliminate one specialty. So if you are eliminating one, at the end of the day, we came down to 2. I guess one was rheumatology and other was oncology. We tried to speak to every oncologist we can possibly find, because their time is very precious and they are really hard to find as well. for these kind of competitions. Those were Aayush has a couple of oncologists. I also spoke to oncologists, pulmonologists. We were trying to different corners, uncles, parents, school friends, doctors who are doing
What
their
about getting through
there.
personal contacts only? I think that is how we went about it. Like,
Yeah,
as
that-
many personal contacts we could, dig up and talk to them. So yeah, that is how. And even our mentor helped us with a couple of names, which we could
couple of
reach out. So yeah, that is the way forward. Again, LinkedIn becomes an important source. I mean, one thing that I noticed was sometimes we fear from asking for help, but when you do ask for help, people are more than happy to give it away, right? I think that is something, people, whenever I talk to people, even though they were busy, they patiently heard what I wanted to ask them, and patiently answered them as well. So I think that was one very important learning that I had, that whatever questions you have, just ask. I mean, people are out there, who will really help you out. And it's not about finding the most ideal person. If I'm working on a particular type of cancer, I'm not going to get that doctor itself, right? I mean, but it's about, he'll give you someone else's contact. That other guy will give you someone else's contact. So you need to start somewhere. If you just sit there and find that ideal person, you might not find it. Whatever you find, just go to him, talk to him, and he will lead you eventually to the right person, maybe. So yeah, we also went on to put these things in our presentation. We wanted to highlight, so we put quotes from the conversations that we'd had with that particular person. We put those quotes of talking to them in our presentation, so that the jury will also get to know, okay, all right, they've all taken the effort to actually go and talk to people of how actually the process happens. So that is a really great way of standing out. You might do all the primary research, but if you do not showcase that, it will not make sense. So make sure that after the hard work you do flex it out in your presentation as well.
Probably that give a sense of authenticity to your presentation.
Exactly.
Yes.
It does.
More importantly, we were just looking when the initial rounds happened, right? Like there were a couple of 2 to 3 questions. We were like, okay, 3 questions, pretty much manageable. But when our team came for the presentation, we had more than 10 questions. I was
Exactly.
like, okay, but the only thing that has saved us is our primary research and a lot of research that we have done.
So some of the questions I made it and I thought I will ask you, but you have already answered it. Like a lot of tips and tricks is already there in all those answers. So very, very insightful session. And probably these kind of experience help student to understand that what kind of length and breadth one should go to find a solution. So thank you guys. Thank you for your time and a very interesting session.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure being.
Yeah. Thank you so much.